The land down under has never been easier to reach. United Airlines has more flights between the U.S. and Australia than any other U.S. airline, so you can fly nonstop to destinations like Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Explore dazzling cities, savor the very best of Aussie cuisine, and get up close and personal with the wildlife. Who doesn't want to hold a koala? Go to united.com/Australia to book your adventure.
Feel your max with Brooks Running and the all-new Ghost Max 2. They're the shoes you deserve, designed to streamline your stride and help protect your body. Treat yourself to feel-good landings on an ultra-high stack of super comfy nitrogen-infused cushion that takes the edge off every step, every day. The Brooks Ghost Max 2. You know, technically, they're a form of self-care. Brooks, let's run there. Head to brooksrunning.com to learn more.
This is Optimal Health Daily, Mindful Eating by Rachael Kable of rachaelkable.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your host and narrator. Hey there, happy Saturday. I hope your weekend is off to a great start, and welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, or OHD, where I act as your narrator of popular health and fitness blogs and always provide my commentary at the end. And don't forget, we have a bunch of shows covering different topics. Just search for Optimal Living Daily in your podcast app to find them. But for now, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. Mindful Eating by Rachael Kable of rachaelkable.com. It's 8 p.m. You've just spent an hour creating a beautiful meal filled with delicious flavors, interesting textures, and the perfect seasoning. You went to the effort to go out and purchase the groceries, bring them home, unpack them and sort them before you began making this meal. As you were cooking, you felt present and open to the experience. You noticed the sensations of different utensils in your hands. You focused on the action of chopping your food safely. You tasted the flavors to check they were balanced, and you put everything together on the plate thoughtfully. You sat down to eat your meal, away from technology and distractions. Each bite was special. Each bite you savored. You tapped into feelings of gratitude, realizing that being able to afford, store, prepare, and enjoy your meal was special. As you neared the end of the meal, you were tuned into the way your body was feeling, and knowing you were already full, you put the remainder of your meal carefully into a container to enjoy for tomorrow's lunch. Perhaps this mindful eating practice seems a little over the top. Life gets busy, and eating can become one of those tasks which needs to be completed but isn't particularly appreciated. And that's okay. The reason why I shared the aforementioned practice is not to make you feel guilty or to pressure you to have the perfect mindful meal every time you eat. I shared this mindful practice to show you how many opportunities there are for you to be mindful with food. You might even be doing parts of the practice I shared already without actually realizing you were being mindful. Today, I've written a list of a few different ways you can practice mindfulness with food. You don't need to do all of them every time you eat. Instead, try a couple of tips with one meal and see what you like. Some practices will resonate more with you than others, so allow yourself to choose the ones which genuinely feel right for you. On the other hand, don't be afraid to use the practices a few times to try and get the hang of them. Mindful eating can be an interesting journey and gives you the opportunity to build a fun, meaningful, and rich mindfulness practice. Food and mindful eating tips. 1. Choose your meals thoughtfully. At the start of the week, I plan all my meals so I can buy the groceries in one trip. When I meal plan, I sit down with my favorite recipe books, enjoy a cup of tea, listen to music, and thoughtfully choose recipes which will nourish me and give me the energy I need, with special treats to feed my soul as well. 2. Be mindful during the grocery shopping. Tune into the music playing. Make deliberate choices between foods. For example, if you always unthinkingly buy spaghetti pasta, try choosing a different one instead just for fun. Acknowledge gratitude for having access to so much food. Cross things off your shopping list. Anything which helps to bring you into the moment. 3. Unpack and sort your groceries mindfully. This is quite a natural mindfulness practice, as we usually think about what we're doing. If we didn't, we'd be putting the meat in the pantry and the potatoes in the freezer. Just take a little time to slow down, and mindfulness will come naturally as you think about what you're doing. 4. While you're cooking, try to be as non-judgmental as you can. There is no wrong in the kitchen, just opportunities to learn. Become immersed in the actions of cooking your meal, from chopping things up, to stirring, to arranging your meal on a plate. 5. Sit down to enjoy your meal, away from distractions such as technology. 6. Take the time to notice different flavors, different textures, and different aromas. There's so much to experience as we eat. You can also tune into your body and how it reacts. Does it prefer some flavors to others? How do you know you've eaten enough? And 7, washing up. There is, perhaps surprisingly, a depth of experience to be found in washing the dishes. Notice the warmth of the water, the smell of the washing liquid, and the satisfaction of creating cleanliness. Bonus tip. Try growing your own food, vegetables, herbs, fruit, and so on, to give yourself even more meaningful ways to be mindful, from the planting process to collecting the produce and then enjoying something you grew yourself. Or you can go for an adventure to a farm where you can pick your own food for another fun and exciting mindfulness opportunity. You just listened to the post titled Mindful Eating by Rachael Kable of rachaelkable.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. When you're hiring, it feels amazing to finally close out a job search. But what if you could get rid of the search and just match? You can with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it filters out incompatible applicants. So when you're hiring, the process is much faster, and you only have to consider applicants that are already likely to be a great fit. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
How do you feel great on vacation? Like really good? Easy. You go to Aruba. You'll spend your time relaxing on cool white sand beaches and floating in healing blue water. You'll immerse yourself in natural wonder and find your center on an island where things move at your speed. You won't just feel great, you'll feel relaxed, renewed, and ready for life. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your trip at Aruba.com.
Dr. Neil here for my commentary. In case you weren't sure whether mindful eating, like using the techniques today's author Rachael described, could be helpful, I'll share with you the results of a recent meta-analysis. Remember, a meta-analysis is basically a large study. Researchers that conduct a meta-analysis find already published studies that were all on the same topic, like the health effects of mindful eating. Then they group them together and analyze the findings of all of those studies. This is what makes meta-analyses such a great resource. Okay, so what did this meta-analysis find about mindful eating? The researchers found that if we want to lose or maintain our body weight, mindful eating can be as effective as following a low-calorie diet. So what that means is, if we can incorporate more of the techniques that today's author Rachael described, we don't have to worry about counting calories. Instead, it's as if mindful eating itself helps us watch our calorie intake naturally. All right, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this show with someone. Remember, sharing this show with someone is a great way to keep all of this going. All right, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.